Hello and welcome to another modern stream. Today we're gonna be doing something that I've been waiting to do for a while, which is try to update Titan Vial a little bit. So the two cards that I'm the most excited about obviously are gonna be Skyclave Apparition and Archon of Emeria. Apparition actually answers a pretty solid amount of threats for the deck. Apparition answers Sashiok, it answers Blood Moon, and it also makes some of the silly creatures, like the prowess creatures and whatnot, it just turns them into 1/1s, which are a lot easier to deal with. Also answering stuff like Teferi and whatever. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You build a Titan Vial deck in Pip because of me and bought 4 Flagstones and they quadrupled price, so thanks for that. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, they spiked over the weekend, I think. And now they're like $20 each. Yeah, I got my playset for like between 2 and 250 each, so it's nice. But yeah, so Apparition is hopefully going to be pretty good. I'm starting with 2 copies mostly because I just don't know how this will affect the deck. Like for example, maybe with the addition of Apparition, we can cut the Scavenging Ooze, maybe add another copy of this, or maybe I don't know, Eternal Witness just is not as relevant because we don't need to get it back as much. Double white doesn't make things difficult. Aha! That's where my good friend Aether Vial comes into play, fixing all of the issues. So hopefully, I think that I'm going to be trying 2 things today. One of them is going to be to try the new cards in the Titan Vial shell, which is what I'm going to start with. And then I'm going to try something similar, but without the Vial. So this is going to be the second list that I'm going to be trying out today. So we cut the vials. This makes room for some extra lands, and it also makes room for some other cards. I'm going to discuss this one later. So let's start here. But I think that Aether Vial is going to do a lot to make Apparition a lot easier to cast. Also, one of the things that's very interesting about Titan Vial is that we actually have more white sources. Because of all the Flagstones, we actually have more white sources than green sources. The fetch patterns make it so that you very often are going to go towards green sources the vast majority of the time, but this is also something that we're going to be that we're going to need to get used to in terms of how we fetch, right? Like what our fetch patterns continue to be, because maybe in the past we would have gone for, like, if we have turn 1 forest, turn 2 flagstones, for example. If we have turn 1 fetch land, turn 2 Flagstones, I might more often than not just go for fetch for a basic forest. While now we might need to keep this in mind, and we might need to go and fetch for a Temple Garden instead. So it's something to keep in mind. They mainly spike because of new Jeskai cleansing Wildfire. Yeah, well, yes, it's possible that yes, but like I've seen people buying Flagstones, seems like the past 2 months or something. Anyway, Thalia is a card that I'm going to keep in the deck for now. We're going to see, and as you can see, I'm going to go with Thalia in this list, but I'm not going for Thalia in this other list. I think that this list is going to be a little bit different. We're also trying out some spice. But yeah, so let's fire up a league with this, and let's see where we go. Of course, I feel like for now, at least until the deck becomes a little bit less exciting for everybody, I'm going to have basically 1 Gaia's Blessing in every single one of my green decks. Okay, let's see this. We have access to Splinter Twin, so let's keep this hand. It is correct for me to fetch on turn 1, and we find ourselves in the situation that I was describing earlier. So I'm gonna go for a shock land here. The reason to fetch on turn 1 instead of just naturally playing the Snowcourt Forest is if we're playing against a Lightning Bolt deck. If my opponent doesn't bolt the Reclaimer on turn 1, we have the option of saving it on turn 2. Because we can sacrifice the temple to go get a second Flagstones, and then that puts 3 cards in the graveyard. Sacred Foundry. Gobbo. Aether Vial on top. Huh. Sweatpants001 with the Prime sub. Welcome back for the 3rd month in a row. Also, I forgot to, there was Addictuck subbed with the Prime subscription while I was offline. So thank you both of you. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Thank you for your support. Huh. This is an interesting turn. Very, very interesting turn. If I go for Thalia, I think I'm gonna go for Thalia actually. And I'm gonna attack with Reclaimer, because I'm not blocking this Goblin God regardless. So if my opponent uses a Bolt to kill Thalia, Reclaimer's not blocking. So since I'm not blocking, I might as well just attack. Yeah, Thalia delays Searing Blaze if they don't have a second land, which I doubt it, but like they can Eidolon, for example, but that just actually keeps me ahead. Yeah, or they are just spending 2 mana to Lightning Bolt my Thalia, right? Primeval Titan. Okay, so now we're good. Now we play our Vial. Now we pass the turn, and now we don't really need to play any more spells anymore. Do I want to save this guy? I think I want to save it. This means that we're going to be going down to 8. But that also means that the Gobbo cannot attack anymore. Or that my opponent needs to use another burn spell on my Reclaimer. And the Reclaimer can get Radiant Fountain in instant speed, so that's also cool. Land, please. Thank you. Draken44. With the Prime sub for the 4th month in a row. Haven't had much free time lately, but wanted to support the stream. Thank you so much, Draken. I appreciate it. Can I make a question about the last 5-0 league? Yeah, sure. What is your question? That's very nice. That's very nice. So we play our land. So I think I want to do this main phase. At some point against Bloom, you had a Dryad and you couldn't play Titan because you didn't have double green, but then you played a second Dryad and you couldn't play Titan. I didn't quite understand how the rule works. How I would need to know the sequencing, unfortunately. If you can leave a comment on the YouTube video, I can explain a little bit more clearly, probably. Yeah, I mean, if they have Boros, Charm, plus Bolt, we're dead here. I don't think there was any way for me to play around it, however. Use Vial's ability, yes. I expect that I'm dead to Skewer the Critics, or Blaze, or whatever. Oh, second Boros Charm. Okay. Dead. Let's get some purges in here. I kind of like Archon. Oh, Core Firewalkers, that's right. In this list, we're playing Firewalkers. Hell yeah. It's pretty slow. This is pretty slow. Do you even care about this guy? I don't think I care about this guy, actually. I'd rather, like, the bog is irrelevant, and I'd rather have the untap source instead of the tapped one. We're probably just Google it, but I just watched the video and I'm new to Titan and was not aware of the aesthetics. Yeah, so basically the way that it works, Sweatpants, is that whatever came into play last is what is what's in effect, right? But if a new one comes into play, then that's the one that's in effect. But it's also a matter of I guess that's it, but it's also the fact that your basics, while you have a Blood Moon and a Dryad, don't get affected, so your basics will tap for any color of mana regardless. So that's the only interaction there. But I don't know, that you're saying that I still couldn't cast the Titan, so that's what's confusing me. And that's why I would need you to point out, because like if I play the Dryad, then I should be able to cast it. Unless they kill that Dryad and the other Dryad that was already in play is the one that's in effect. In that case, the Blood Moon would have shown up afterwards. Yeah, keep this. Turn 1 Vial. If they added 10 into Arena, would you start playing Arena? I mean, I do play... I've been playing actually a reasonable amount of Arena lately because I think that this draft format is kind of fun. And it's basically free to draft on Arena. So I've been like going infinite on it on Arena lately. So because of that, oof, that's an insane draw. Ifeno with the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much for 17 months. 17. That's an insane amount of months. Forgot to put Feather Retreat in our deck? No, I didn't, Ifeno. Thank you for the reminder, though, but no, I didn't. I'm just playing this guy because I think it's very likely that he will die. Smash the Smithereens. Is this really the fight that you want to fight about? Really? Sure. This is my opponent overboarding. Like, this is just not a very good card for them. So we're probably going to be Flagstoning for Flagstones here. And then Springbloom Druid can do some nonsense next turn. How important is Gargaroth for the deck? I'm trying to get the deck, but Garg's too expensive. Is there a way to replace it? So the thing about Gargaroth is that it's good precisely against a couple of problematic situations. Like, for example, if your opponent has a Blood Moon and they're playing like Ponza or something, Gargaroth is like a threat on its own that can actually deal with those. But it's not particularly replaceable in that sense, basically. Dryad. Okay, I think I'm just gonna chump here. One Reclaimer's enough to do all the stuff that I want to do. And I'm gonna have +1 lands, so we're gonna have 4. And we're gonna have up to 1,000,000 lands next turn, so we're gonna be able to trigger Field, which is nice. Syrian Blood, sure. It's pretty good for them. But again, we're gonna get to do all the stuff that we want to do here. So I'm not too worried about that. Also, why aren't they not changing the blue text thing? Why not double blocking? Because it's exactly the same, and this forces my opponent to use the spell right now. Sure. So Springbloom Druid. Oh, did I punt? I had to play my land first. Whoops. So I'm only gonna get 1 zombie this way. Yeah, I missed out on a zombie. Mistakes were made. I guess that yeah, I'm not getting zombies anyway because I naturally drew my other planes. So this and this. And yes, this is gonna get the planes. Play this. Just gonna call for Titan. That's a bad sign. Yeah. So if they have Boros Charm, we just die. Pretty unfortunate. There's not too much that we could have done though. I guess I could have played Knight of Autumn last turn. If I don't play the Spring Loom, but I think that playing the Spring Loom is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's prime time. All right. So I guess this plays around. This plays around my opponent having Skullcrack better. They didn't have Skullcrack. Okay, so the game is now over. I could have played the Reclaimer there, but I think that making the Scavenging Ooze into a 4/4 is going to be more important. And now next turn we have prime time. So I think we got this one. If they attack, I'm going to block with Knight of Autumn. Yeah, we're in good shape here. It's a good way to start the turn. Got Skullcrack. They're cycling to see if they can find it. They don't have Skullcrack. GG's. GG's. Vesuva, Field of the Dead. You can probably call this one a day. 104.3a opponent. Rule 104.3a. This deck is so good, it's almost boring to watch. That is. That's a new one. That is a new one. I don't think I've ever heard that one. I think on the draw I'm gonna make this switch, kind of force my opponent to have the path. Hey Scott, how's it going? This is a bad hand. We're gonna have to ship this one. This one is a lot better, so let's keep this one. Spot on the apparition. The only bad thing about this hand is, like, we saw that my opponent brought in Smash to Smithereens, and this hand actually would struggle a fair amount against my opponent having a Smash here. I think it's worth keeping. They can't have that many Smash to Smithereens, right? Probably have like 2, maybe 3. Don't have it, don't have it, don't have it. Okay, that one's fine. I mean, it's bad, but it's also fine. Okay, take this up to 1. And I'm gonna play this Kusi right now, use my mana. Swift Spear. Yeah. Yeah, when burn draws like this, like turn 1 creature, turn 2 spell, turn 2 creature spell, it's really tough to beat, almost regardless of what we're doing over here. I think that I need this Reclaimer to survive. I can't chomp just yet. Yeah, finding lands there is pretty brutal. All right, let's go. Probably gonna have to chomp here. The interesting thing is that we can, I can float the mana, I can destroy my own land with Ghost Quarter, and then I can sack it in order to make the Reclaimer into a 3/4. Which it's probably what I'm gonna be doing here. We're probably just dead, right? Like, Swift Spear coming through plus spells means that we're dead. Yeah, like, this is like the one spell that does it, but I guess that not yet, actually. I can find Radiant Fountain. Am I gonna go squatter myself? That means that I untap with a Reclaimer. We are gonna be at 2. And I can Vial in our Archon. The thing is that it means that I'm... No, yeah, this is just correct. I just have to do this. I can't win this game if I... This also kills the Swift Spear. I'm probably gonna need to draw exactly Knight of Autumn. Oh, they just... Yeah, I'm gonna need to draw exactly Knight of Autumn, I guess. So Knight of Autumn off the top gives me a shot. Land is also not bad. Brutal. that's awful. Yeah, we're just dead. Well, we can't go get the Vesuva, right? That's what I was saying, that if we find a land, we might just have a shot. Because a land would allow me to activate on Vesuva, and then I can Archon, so my opponent cannot play a second spell, and that's it. But Thalia is something that I cannot violate, and I'm just still dead anyway. Alright. Feels bad, man. Usually Burn is a very, very good matchup. But you know what? You know what I just realized? I lost game 1 with Xaxis, and if I had gotten to untap, I would have won game 1. And I shocked on turn 1 because of the Skyclave, the potential of Skyclave apparition. So if I had gotten a basic forest instead of the Shockland, I think that we win game 1 and then we win the match. So interesting. Interesting thought. Sure. The basic island Lurrus deck. What the hell is this? Mill with Lurrus? Holy shit, we're fucked. Well, if they have the Archive Trap, we just lose, right? So they didn't have the trap. Surgical Thalia. You got it. You got it. That's a very good draw. And I'm probably gonna activate this right now. Because I know that my opponent doesn't have an Archive Trap. Let's get Valakut going. And I'm gonna get this guy in play. Sure. Should I just have gotten field there? So Dryad, eat. Dryad, eat. This goes up to 3. That's a great draw. Tracker. Land, clue. Boom, boom, sack. Yes. Get planes. Valakut. Valakut you. Let's go. So we have lethal next turn. We are 34 cards, so it seems pretty unlikely for my opponent to be able to kill me from here. Their best play is probably the artifact, and it still doesn't matter too much. Yeah. Alright, sweet. Alright. Blessing, where are you? There we go. Tracker is interesting. Purge for Ashiok. Archon is also interesting. Cards that don't matter. Courser. Raminef's actually excellent. Eternal Witness is excellent. Gargs is kind of weird. I probably would keep the Gargs though. Apparition is important against the Snare and Bridge and the enchantment and whatnot. Blessing is this only for the mill matchup? Yeah, mill is very, very popular right now. It won the challenge last weekend or something. How's Operation doing? Looks like a busted card to me. It's literally my first. This is my second match ever with this card. But I have seen it in action. I've seen Spider Space stream yesterday, and he was playing Mono White Taxes, obviously, and he was playing the full 4 copies of Apparition, and it looked very, very impressive there. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah. So probably Druid can go. One Blessing main and one Cosmic Cyber sound about right for Amulet? Nope. I would never put any of those cards in my main deck. I just submit 63. That's fine. Yeah, if you're playing main deck mill hate, then you're just making your deck worse. So I would never do that. Okay. Interesting hand. That's a problem. That's a great draw. I'm probably gonna go Reclaimer on 2. We might get Archive Trapped here, but that's okay. Yeah, there it is. But we cannot really beat this kind of like early Archive Trapped ones anyway. What do you recommend to combat the mill menace, friend? I mean, what I'm doing right now, which is just play one guy of Blessing in your sideboard. I love how Reclaimer is like an insta 3/4 in this match. I see this 6 Cave Ship blue. It seemed pretty bad. Aw, Reclaimer is not a 3/4 anymore. Feels bad, man. Of course I'm joking. Reclaim a Goyf. Reclaim my Goyf is funny. Drown in the lock, kill my dude. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Jeff Bob Herrera. So we have a couple of ways that we can go about this. I think I'm gonna go for Dryad. Dryad Valakut, pass the turn. Can't attack into the crab because it's an 0/3. Next turn we can Skyclave. But if my opponent plays an Ashiok or something, we might want to go that route instead. Well, the 900 thing about follow. Go if he's unplayable, now you get a Rain Scourge. That's the 3 mana one, right? I don't think Go if he's unplayable. I think that's kind of not true. Any land would be fine. We didn't find the land, but that's okay. We get to operation that thing. Get it out of here. Out of here. Reclaimer. Get in there for 2. Opponent down to 1 card. And gonna Vesuva my Valakut, I guess? Protected from field. Scourge of the Skyclave. Oh yeah, that's the new Death Shadow. Mill is so easy. It's hard to feel bad for a mill opponent. Oh yeah, I'm not feeling bad about it. I'm feeling great about it, in fact. Get a wrecked, mill. Back to the most beautiful deck again, I know, right? I miss tapping my artifacts, you know? Sure. Turn 1 Reclaimer, turn 2 Activation. We get the engine rolling. Feels good to wreck mill with a Titan deck, yeah, I know. What's up, Magus? How's it going? Rift Bolt. Okay, so they go face. Searing Blaze. Swift Spear. No blocks. Just 1. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Let's do that. We can go score our own flagstones to not be behind on mana, but to make the Reclaimer into a 3/4 if we need to. My opponent might be just forced to Rift here, the Thalia. Yep. Always feels great to see. Always great to see. Spike. So now in a game with Belcher, after I had the turn 2 kill forced, I was left with only 2 lands. Feels good, man. Even if Reclaimer dies, this means that it saved me a potential 4 damage, right? Because it would mean that my opponent needs to bolt me now. So yeah, so This Reclaimer effectively saved me 4 damage, which I'm not against. Knight of Autumn. Game 4. So if I draw any land, any untapped land, I can call for Dryad and I can start triggering Valakut, so I'm just gonna do this. Of course, Knight is gonna jump under the bus because we can also call for Eternal Witness to get back the Knight. What is my opinion of Fire? Fire is good. Fire, as in the philosophy that Wizards has been using, is bullshit. Okay, on a 1. So my opponent has this draw step to kill me. The issue is that most of their deck kills me here. Yep, exactly. So that sucks. Again, I had to shock on turn 1, and that ended up being problematic. It wasn't as, I guess that I was dead regardless here, but Campfire, Yacht, and Belch Club. I get some of that, but what is the Yacht thing about? Can you explain to me where the Yacht nonsense comes from? Alright, Gobo, hook me up with those lands, shall we? Courser. Feels bad, man. Sailboats are cool. Oh, okay, so it's just just the value of sailboats. Gotcha. Land. God damn it. Probably not playing this Vial. Ah, man, sure it's unfortunate that we're missing land drops in our 28 land deck. But it is what it is. Can I block? Aww. Don't you dare destroy my Aether Vial. Okay, that's fine. Okay, critics have been skewered. Okay, so we Violating Courser. There's a call on top. Gain a life. Go get up. Flames. Play Dryad. Play another land. Pass the turn. Yeah, so if they have 2 spells, we just die here. Man, it's weird that I lost twice to burn. I feel like I never lose to burn with this deck. Between like the core firewalkers and like all that stuff, like I'm happy to face burn, but somehow today it's not my day. We also mulligan that game, right? We also mulligan, which is kind of rough. None of our hands were particularly good. Burn players are on fire. I imagine that burn is just good against Mill, for example, so that's why we see a little bit of a resurgence, particularly now that Mill plays a bunch of creatures. So even the Searing Blazes are not dead. Yeah, it is exactly what I was saying, Matthias. It's just... Usually it's the complete opposite. I lose to Mill, and then I beat burn pretty consistently. That's magic. You beat Mill 2 with Belcher. It was not close. Well, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. I'm gonna have to go for it here. We'll just have to hope that they don't have the thing. Any land is a good draw here, though. My opponent says, I hope you have some cyber tech for me. I don't know if this is BM or... I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what this is. I like Mill players, but they have good matchups. There are Mill players that are pretending they have good matchups. Alright, give me a land here. That actually kind of sucks, but I have to do this, I think. Okay. Kill this dude. Valak at you. Always, yes, always healed. So I guess, yeah, we attack with both. Because now my opponent is dead to just like any land off the top. Scheming Symmetry. Funny. Another Mesmeric Core. That's gonna be a lot of triggers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14 mils. But any land off the top just wins for me. Sweet. Alright, so let's do that. What did we do last time? Blessing, obviously. Running Tracker, Blood in the Tech Edge. Nah, I'm not going to. My opponent said, I hope you have some cyber tech for me, and I said, I clearly don't need it, but I'm not gonna say that. Okay. Kind of like Arcan. I hope they're not watching the stream at the same time. I don't know. Always remember the tilt value. Oh yeah. Classic tilt value. Sand looks pretty freaking good. Oh yeah. Turn 1 mana cycle. Love to see it. Surgical my prime time, you got it. They get to see the Thalia. Again. Remember on the weekend when people asked if Mill is a real deck now? Yeah, I know. Everybody's jumping on the Mill train. Also, they paid life to Surgical when they have a black mana there. I don't know what that means. Like they just have another Surgical extra bait, whatever. Also, why would you main phase the Surgical there? It makes no sense at all. Whatever. I am not here to try to understand Mill players' plays, right? What a waste of a Surgical. It wasn't the best Surgical that I've ever seen, I'll tell you that much. Oh yeah. Good old set myself behind on turn 2 in the face of Thalia. Top tier plays from opponent. Top tier plays from a top tier deck. Also bounce my blue source, then play my sad ruin crab. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Play Triad, play Field, pass the turn. They're purposely missing land drops. Alright, that's now it's getting pretty good. Yes. So this Flagstones doesn't get anything. Anything of relevance, that is, obviously, right? Honestly, Crab being an 0-3 is kind of a big deal. I don't want to play the Flagstones this turn. I'm just gonna copy the Roboro. I can bounce it if I need to, but it gets me closer to field. But with the plains and snow plains being... Arcan with the host. Thank you, Arcan, for the host with 26 viewers. Welcome everybody from Arcan stream. How are things going with you over there? Yeah, like they can extirpate the blessing, but like we still get to shuffle everything again, so like we effectively blanked a bunch of their things. And now the Flagstone actually does get me zombie tokens, which is nice. We can safely call even. Sweet. So let's call for 3. Huh. We have multiple good options here. Chill stream, hope this win is modern. Oh yeah, of course. Always dominating modern. You know, Arkin. You know how it is. Yeah, Excavator is an interesting one. Reclaimer also interesting. Tracker is also interesting. There's a bunch of them that are interesting. Even Archon of Emeria is kind of a beating for them here. I think it's gonna be Excavator because it gives you the most things. It also allows me to play around my opponent. Having stuff like Surgical Extraction. Milling my Balagots, I mean. And I'm gonna mill right now when my opponent cannot cast their Archive Traps. I'm gonna fetch now, sorry, not mill. Alright, lethal next turn. You've been bouncing your own lands every turn, opponent, so you have nothing going on. I think that they're just dead and they have nothing they can do here. My opponent says GG's Mana's crew. Like, they've been literally bouncing their land. They've been bouncing their land every single turn. That's a great recipe to get mana screwed. Just purposely not make your land drops. Probably didn't draw their land, but deserve because mill player. I don't have any kind of what's the word? Like I don't feel sorry for mill players, is what I'm trying to say. You're playing mill, right? Like you're trying to host me. You cannot complain when I host you, right? You play a deck that literally remorse. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Nalaric, think about follow. Like you're literally playing a deck that is aimed at hosting me. You cannot complain when I'm the one hosting you instead, right? Check my meme card, bro. Yeah, I know. Honestly, the art is super cool in this one. This is probably another one of those very, very, very rare scenarios where the original art is actually a little bit worse than the other. Oh no, this is the original art. Oh, that's so sick. I thought this one was the original art, and I always thought that this one kind of sucked. Alright, sweet, that's awesome. Cool. So I guess I could have a Gaia's Blessing with this art, which is sweet, and also the old border. How do I not have this? I must have it. I will have it. Keep. We're just gonna hope that we're playing against a deck that gets hosed by Thalia. Easy. For me with love. Re-Embracer. Re-Embracer is indeed a card. Sweatpants. How is Skyclave feeling? So far it's been pretty decent, honestly. Interesting sequencing from opponent there. So they targeted me, so I have to assume that there's going to be a discard spelling coming here. Long time YouTube fan, first time catching you live. What do you think that Turn Timber is going to stay at 25 tickets a copy? I don't know. I mean, already it was like 30 something, and it went down to 25 tickets, right? So I don't know how played it is in like Standard and Pioneer and stuff. It's definitely going to be a card that we're going to see a lot in Modern. That would be to convince someone to play. Like the problem with a card like Re-Embracer is that it doesn't even do well what it's supposed to do, right? Look what I did to Flagstones. It was a team effort. I was the one that put Flagstones on the map, and then Aspiring Spike helped me out a little bit by... I guess they know about this, so I guess I should shuffle. And then Aspiring Spike started doing well with that Jeskai deck, whatever. Skyclave would be the most ubiquitous card for Zendikar, not only by boots. Yeah, I think that it's one of the best cards in the new set. Apparition, that is. It's very, very good. That's a sad top deck. Flagstone's really spiked. Yep. I told you, folks. Told you that you should be buying your playset of Flagstones. Why wouldn't you listen to me? Dismember for the full amount. Yeah, I mean, Vial is going up. I'll tell you that much. Particularly now that we have another Vial, and that with my opponent's mana base, there's no way they play K-Command. So Vial is going to keep going up. Oh, you're the one? Sweet Young. Good for you. Don't have a threat, 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 don't have a threat. Oh, they have the Scourge as the threat. Oh no! No! Damn it. I mean, at least they don't have a threat. I'm still gonna continue upticking both of these Vials. So I can cast everything now, so. Yeah, without a threat. Assume they have Drown. Ugh, only one green source. Brutal. Do you think this deck is better than Classic Amulet? Nope. Are we really main decking Surgical Extraction? Woo! Let's go. Oh yeah. Vial on 6, baby. Oh, you love to see it. It just never gets old, right? It just never ever gets old. Never gets old. Has anyone ever asked you to compare Vial and Amulet more or less than 100 times? Probably 500 at least. I mean, it's a very common thing though. Like it makes sense for people to be curious about it. It's not like I get upset about it or anything. Like if I were to get upset about getting asked the same question over and over again, I just would not be a streamer. Right? Miss Amulet streamer. Oh, thank you, Kusan. I appreciate it. Hey, Nasif one time said that I am the second best Amulet player. No, that I'm the best player, the best Amulet player in the world. And then he said, maybe second best. Which I thought was hilarious. Great stuff. Great stuff. What am I doing here? What am I playing against? Like, Bug Shadow? With Apparition sounds insane against this deck. Also, my opponent's playing main deck Surgicals. What the hell? Closely monitor the development standard. In order to avoid disrupting this weekend tournaments, we intend to provide an update to the format early next week. I mean, I'm assuming that it's pretty obvious for them to realize how much they fucked up. Like, I really don't know what goes on in their, like, testing process or whatever. But whatever it is that they're doing, it's just not working. It was a Shadowless that had 4 main deck Surgical posted. Well, I mean, if they can Surgical my Dryads, I'm gonna be very sad. Tell you that much. What's the point of playing 1 Archon and 1 Nail? Why not 2 Archons? If you read the card, you would notice that they are actually different. They are different cards and they have different pros and cons. Because they're different cards and have different pros and cons, there's some matchups where I'm going to want one card but not the other one. And the same is true, like vice versa, right? There's some matchups where I'm gonna want Archon and I'm not gonna want Eidolon, and some matchups that are the opposite. Like for example, against Storm, I'm gonna bring in both, but Eidolon is better than one in one and in the other one. Also, one of the cards has literally been out for a full 2 days, and I have not tested it at all, so I'm interested in trying it out. That's a shadow. And before we get our Dryad Surgical, not much we can do about that though. Okay, so they're gonna get pushed here. Boom, dead. If they are to surgical the Dryad, they should do it right now, which means that they probably don't have it. Because they could have surgical, got them both, and then just not exile the Dryad itself. So they didn't fetch there to play around drawing the lock. Keep this one. We are gonna fetch 4 planes. And we're gonna play another one. And we are gonna fetch for a snow plains. This triggers field. So stop. Someone say to start spam copy pastas, yeah. So I stopped playing Tiny Shift and my LGS and started playing the green white list with the red splash and went undefeated the last 3 weeks, and now I'm getting 3 amulets with my store credit. Nice, Nalaric, that's some good value. Playing at LCS now in paper. Yeah, some countries are back to, I don't know where Nalaric is from, but some countries are. Some countries have been showing very little new cases of coronavirus and stuff, so they are a little bit, they're kind of going back to business because, you know, they managed they managed the whole situation a little bit more smartly than a country like the States did, for example. So this forces a chomp. I'm gonna push the Sombo here. Yeah, we're allowed to hear, yeah. Watch your band play vid on YouTube, great stuff. I'm trying to keep the play dream alive in the new Zendikar world. Yeah, it's not easy, huh? It's not easy. Like at this point, like it can be a little bit tough to keep up with some of the things that are being done, which is rough. I'm going to attack here because my opponent can't push. And also, like, this shadow is lethal as is already. So, like, growing them doesn't really change anything. Trying to bring in Spell Queller so we have a few more board threats. I don't know how good Spell Queller really is anymore. Stay people are back to school and cases are spiking again. I really don't get it. Yeah. The entire way that the whole thing was handled in the States is just almost kind of embarrassing. Block there, block there. We have a couple of threats that just win the game on the spot. If my opponent didn't attack last turn, then they shouldn't. They should block. Okay, so we have ways that we can do this right now. I mean, I'm gonna start with this. If it gets stubbed, that's gonna be the end of the game. If it gets gusted, also gonna be the end of the game. But if this resolves, then it's gonna be a question of whether I want to play around Disdainful Stroke, which I probably do want to play around. I doubt that they have Aether Gust, but they could have Disdainful Stroke. And if they do have Stroke... Oh, I sided out. What's his name? Whoops. I only have one basic left, so Druid doesn't do it. We just go for Titan. Now Dryad can be pushed. Yeah, but I don't care, right? If one of my opponent's remaining cards in hand is a push, that's fine. Like, we don't need that to win. I think that at this point I have to jam Primetime, because we lose to our removal spell if I go for Apparition. Apparition allows me to play around stuff, but it's playing to not lose instead of playing to win. So I think I'm going to try to play to win. This might get Disdainful Stroked or Gusted, but if it doesn't, now we're actually going to win, which is great. So let's do Valakut to % lethal and Field of the Dead. Easy. Alright, 3 and 2. Not bad, not bad. Spot 7, thank you for the follow there. Why attack first? I'm trying to attack first to see what my opponent has. I'm forcing my opponent to do something. I'm forcing my opponent to blink first. Or like to make a move at least. Like if they take the damage, it gives me more information. If they block, it gives me information. And again, if they are going to be pushing my Dryad, I don't care, because that's not what the game is about. When in doubt, Titan. Yeah, I mean, that's probably not what it is. Actually, that was such a weird league. Like, we beat Mill twice. We beat Shadow as well. And we lost twice to Burn. Like, I feel like I haven't lost against Burn in probably, I don't know, like months with this deck. I feel like I lost like 2 or 3 times total without counting those in like 15 matches or maybe 20 matches against Burn. Like, I consider Burn to be a really, really good matchup for us, but somehow we lost against it twice today. The Vials did some work this league. I'm not gonna lie. The Vials did some work this league. But again, as a streamer, I like to try new things. So we're gonna be trying another one without Vials now. And then we're gonna see how we feel about it. Apparition was pretty sick this league, I'm not gonna lie. It did a lot of things that I thought were very, very nice. So We're gonna go with a couple of operations, and as I try the other version, I'm probably gonna also start with a couple of operations that we're gonna see if we want to move around. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. We'll be back with another one. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.